The size of a hurricane doesn't determine the severity of the storm. And in this episode of FTD Facts, I'm looking at the biggest hurricanes, including cyclones and typhoons. They're all the same thing, just the word used is based on the location of the storm. My name is Leroy Kenton, and I'll be determining the biggest storms based on their radius. At number 10, we have Hurricane Yolanda. This happened in the year 2013, and it was a Category 5 super typhoon, and its diameter was 800 kilometers. Yolanda, also known as Typhoon Haiyan, is the smallest in this episode, but it's one of the strongest storms ever. Over 6,000 fatalities and $2 billion in damages happened in the Philippines. Yolanda also affected other nations like South China and Vietnam. Next up is Typhoon Usagi, also in 2013, and it was a Category 4 super typhoon. It had a diameter of 1,110 kilometers. Another storm off the coast of the Philippines in early September of 2013, the storm formed a 17-mile wide eye in 3 days and upgraded to a Category 5 hurricane. The storm caused $4.3 billion in total across the Philippines and China, with thousands of people made homeless and billions of dollars worth of crops that were destroyed. Typhoon Morakot comes in at number 8, formed in 2009, and this was a Category 1 typhoon, and it had a diameter of 1,200 kilometers. Morakot was one of the biggest to hit Taiwan. Its 90-mile-per-hour wind speed may not seem that dangerous, but it moved very slowly, which had it cause a lot of damage. Over 100 feet of rain fell, causing massive flooding, and the storm also affected other Southeast Asian countries, including China and Japan. Total, Morakot costs over $6 billion in damage. The year 2014 brought us Hurricane Karl, and this was a Category 3 major hurricane. It had a diameter of 1,255 kilometers. Karl is the 6th largest Atlantic hurricane ever formed off the coast of Cape Verde. Luckily, it weakened to a Category 1 before ending off in the Faroe Islands, and no damages were recorded. Just 3 years ago, we saw Hurricane Nicole in 2016, and this was a Category 4 major hurricane with a diameter of 1,285 kilometers. Nicole was only in Bermuda, where it caused a lot of damage, yet it still affected other areas. In the United States, there were some huge waves that were created by the storm that affected beaches in South Florida. Back in the year 1996, we had Hurricane Lily, and this was a Category 3 major hurricane. The storm had a diameter of 1,345 kilometers. Beginning as a tropical storm in the Gulf of Mexico and ending after hitting London, this massive slow-moving storm was responsible for a lot of flooding and damages in 2 continents. The countries of Cuba and Bahamas suffered quite a bit of fatalities. Coming in at number 4, we have Hurricane Igor. This Category 4 hurricane was formed in 2010 and had a diameter of 1,335 kilometers. Fortunately for the people of the Caribbean and the United States, Igor weakened to a Category 3 as it approached. It barely caused any damage in Bermuda. Newfoundland in Canada, however, got hit the hardest. Nearly $200 million in damages was caused by Igor. At number 3, we have Hurricane Sandy. Back in the year 2012, this one caused a lot of destruction. It was a Category 3 hurricane with a diameter of 1,380 kilometers. Sandy is the 3rd most devastating hurricane to ever hit the United States. Damages cost $70 billion. Sandy hit the Caribbean and traveled to the east coast of the United States, and in total, 24 states were affected. The second biggest hurricane is Hurricane Olga, formed in 2001, and this was a Category 1 hurricane with a diameter of 1,595 kilometers. Olga is the largest Atlantic hurricane when you go by its diameter. However, it was not a strong storm at all, and great thing about this was that it didn't cause any damages whatsoever and nobody was injured. The number 1 biggest hurricane was Typhoon Tip, formed in 1979. This was a Category 5 super typhoon with a diameter of 2,220 kilometers. Typhoon Tip is the largest by diameter in history. Tip formed over the Marshall Islands near the Philippines, and it gained strength as it moved over the ocean, eventually becoming a Category 5. It also caused damage to Japan. Boats and people at sea sank, and tens of thousands of people were left homeless because of the flooding. Having to deal with natural disasters comes with living on this planet. I suggest you watch the episode I made about the biggest forest fires in history. You'll learn that some of these natural disasters aren't as natural as you think. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell, and I'll see you real soon in another episode.